No.
Okay,
That might be the better part of the day, you know, my member's like, yeah,
Okay.
get rid of me, I don't really care. Are we good now?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the November Sky Valley Incorporated Marketing Committee meeting. And we have with us today, I'll let each person go around and say who's here. So I'm Bob O'Keefe, I'm the chairman, and I'm here.
Jamie Dara.
Ed Style.
Holly Style.
Bill Oliver.
Doug Hollinsworth.
Steve Dingard.
Ed Morley.
Barbara Anderson.
Jack Anderson.
Well, good. Thank you all for coming. This is unusual because this is actually the first marketing committee meeting we've had that has not been a Zoom meeting. And we're taking different tack today because in addition to our regular agenda, Steve Dinberg is a professional photographer that came up a couple of times in September and October to take high-resolution updated photos of our wonderful community and also to take some sample drone footage. And he's going to make a presentation to the committee today and to all of you that are listening. Obviously, I don't think you can see it, or maybe you will be able to. And then we'll make a decision as to whether it'll fit into our marketing plans and our budget. So that's why we had to have an in-person meeting. So in a few minutes, we'll start off with Steve. But before we do that, we need to adopt the minutes from October's meeting. So does anybody want to make a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion.
Okay, that's Jamie motion. Anybody second?
Second.
Okay, Ed second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Okay, unanimously accepted. I think we should start with Steve, or unless, do you want to go?
Let me do mine and
Okay.
then I'll introduce him because
Okay.
we'll
Doug Hollinsworth will make his usual report from his end of the marking that he does, and then introduce Steve, and then we'll move down the agenda.
This is, I think I know some of them I didn't get, so I apologize, but this is, and if you didn't get it via email, let me know. I will send you a copy because these have links on them that you need to see. Everyone's fine, thank you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we've done over the last month or so. We've had a fantastic month with advertising and marketing. And if we had months like this every month, we would, the whole world would know who Sky Valley is. So some of the things that we've done, some of you certainly know about them, but like again, here's the links that you can go and please let me know if you did not get my email. The Traveling Media Couple, this is their first post about Sky Valley. They already done some social media. And they have 23,000 Twitter followers. So they've already posted a lot of stuff on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. But this is one of their first posts that they will do that is actually an article on Sky Valley. And they talked about, it's a great article, they did a really good job. It's really nice. This couple is friends of mine I've known for years. They came from Arizona, so they drove all the way from Arizona over here. They did a couple of things while they were in the southeast, but I think I told Holly and Ed and whoever's with us a few weeks ago that they had been to Jekyll and Savannah and Callaway and Chateau and came here and they did not want to leave. They love this place. I'm like, we would love to buy a home here, So, and they're very sincere. I didn't hear this from all the other places. They certainly loved what Georgia had to offer. But the nice thing here too is we have a couple. It's not just a man riding or a woman riding, it's the couple. And so they, taste the cuisine, they look at the different real estate stuff, all the different things that are part of what we're trying to promote. So they did a great job and will continue to write more, and I will, each time we get something, I will send it to you. Mike May, who's a golf writer in South Florida, who works with me. He's done a couple things over the last couple of months here. Just last week, he was on our radio show out of Hawaii, and it is a fantastic piece. Now, this show goes all over everywhere, certainly, but they promote it very heavily here in the United States. It's a great show, and Mike and I came up with a idea leading up to the Masters, because the Masters being in November this year. We thought, well, this is great. We did this virtual tour back in April and May because people were sitting home with nothing to do. So we thought, okay, let's do the same thing. So we did a 15-day virtual tour again leading up to the Masters. Certainly Sky Valley was one of those, but this is the subject matter that they talked about on the radio show. And Mike did a fantastic job. I could have not done it any better than he did. The second part of that is just one of the clips that he wrote that he put on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and some Instagram. And this goes along with a picture of Sky Valley. So this, you know, we're reaching tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people already with just those couple of things. Golf Georgia Magazine is the official publication of the Georgia State Golf Association. And the editor, the owner and I are very good friends. The editor and I are very good friends. And so I finally got him to put something in there about Sky Valley. So I was excited about that. So there's the clip with that. And they send their thing out to their 85,000 members that they have. So that was nice that we're going to be doing some more things. Steve Autry is the editor, and he's going to be working with me, and we're going to try to do more articles on smaller things, so like local newspapers, or he's got a great website that he does with travel, so I hired him to help me do some things, but in local papers, things like that. Right now, one of the things I wanted to do this year was try to get into Florida, certainly South Florida, to let people know that we have a great and wonderful place up here in Sky Valley that is much cooler than South Florida. And so I am talking with two golf publications that are going to be mostly real estate. We certainly realize that golf comes along with that, but we want to tell these people, hey, come on back up, buy a second home, or just come on back up, buy a home in Sky Valley. So we're working with that right now, and it's exciting. Drake Realty came to Sky Valley with some agents. Didn't have the biggest turnout that we wanted, but we're going to try to do some more things with them. But we did have the owner and his sister-in-law, who's his marketing person, and they were very impressed. The owner had been up here a couple of weeks before that, played golf, loved it, and so the idea there was to get real estate agents across Georgia, and there's 750 of them across Georgia, that if anybody asks, you know, hey, we're looking for a place in North Georgia, oh, well, you need to look at Sky Valley. So this is just going to be an added addition to people that are going to be helping us. Certainly the owners will really do a lot because I've been working with them. They're our lead sponsor, on our Georgia Golf Real Estate program that we do. So then they also, I think I sent it, again, apologize if I don't have everybody's email, but I'll try to at least get it to Bob so he can pass it on. But they just put it in their newsletter about Sky Valley, and that goes out to 3,000, all our agents plus 3,000 people. So they're going to continue to do more for us there. Got a lot of things coming up. Things don't happen overnight. This is a lot of things that are planned from the summer, and a lot of this stuff hits at certain times. So we've got other things coming. So I'll keep you informed of every month. But an exciting month. One of the big things that we certainly been planning to do and wanting to do is certainly update our photography here with Sky Valley, with videos and photos. So I've been in the business 30 years around golf courses and all kind of people. And Steve and I became business friends at first, and then friends, and back in the late 90s, I would think. It's been that long. Steve is and I'll let him tell you a little more about it, but Steve is a photographer that has done many things. You certainly can go to his website. I'll put it on here, denbergphotography.com. That he's done, I don't know, he can tell you more, countless resorts, countless golf clubs. He's worked with the PGA Tour, the late Payne Stewart. He was his official photographer for many years, and he's a great guy. When I started thinking about this, and I thought, okay, well, I know this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. He by far is the person I wanted to put in front of him. Now, let me tell you what he's done for Sky Valley already on his own time, as Bob mentioned. He has been up here 3 days. Once to come up, had a meeting with Bob, and we kind of looked over the land. Steve and I went out and got a golf cart and just drove around it. And then he came up again for 2 days. I was with him for one, and we went around and took pictures and drone footage, and just, did a great job. And this was, as we knew, was just going to be for a presentation that he's, as you'll see today. But he wanted to show you personally. Now, he came up here for these 3 days at no charge. And Steve doesn't do things like that. So certainly.
Only for you.
Only for me, okay. I wasn't going to put that in, but since you did, I appreciate that. But
May cost you later.
it might cost me later. I might not know it there. But he's very well connected. Marietta Country Club had him do their big book that they sell. I mean, this thing's this thick, and every picture in there is all Steve's. He does a great job, and we're going to show a video. He'll get up and speak, and then he can talk to you a little bit about, and I think then he's going to leave a proposal for everybody, and then we can certainly talk after that. But trust me, I would not have brought Steve up here to, go from that and let you see what he can do. I mean, you have a beautiful community, and we just want to make sure that everybody sees it. The CAM is fantastic. I mean, I'm bragging, telling people about it. We're fixing to start a marketing campaign that people will know more about the CAM and the weather. So, how cool it is or hot it is up here, whatever. So, let me just turn it over to Steve, and he can go from there.
Thanks, Doug. First, let me say, as Doug mentioned, I've known him a long time, but I have never had the opportunity to work with him. So having the opportunity to do a project like this, potential project, is pretty exciting because he is really connected in the industry. And his connections, if there's ever a question or a contact I need to follow up with Doug as far as who to contact or who to reach out to, he's the guy. So you're very fortunate to have him in charge of your marketing. Let me give you a little background before I show you this little 3-minute piece that I do. I'm from Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 1980. Was a freelance sports photographer. It was always in my blood. I never could get rid of it. In 1981, I believe it was, I had the opportunity to photograph. I was hired to photograph down at Hilton Head, which I believe back then it was not the MCI Heritage, it was the Nabisco Challenge. And I went down there for Sports Illustrated for the week, and I'll never forget this. This was a Wednesday night, and I was at a bar in Hilton Head, and I was sitting and talking to a gentleman, and come to find out it was Payne Stewart's agent, Van Arden. So from 1981 through the accident in October 25th of '99, I covered pretty much tournament golf. I was at every major golf tournament with Payne, 7 Ryder Cups, US Opens, more than I can possibly remember. But my intro to golf photography led me to golf courses because of the, it was, how can I say this? It was an intro into a very select group of these PGA pros. And when the accident happened in '99, obviously it was a financial hit to me. I lost a great friend. Ability to travel was pretty much shot. And I needed another outlet. So it gave me the opportunity to pursue working with other players. I gravitated towards Mr. Nicklaus, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Player, and in 2004 I was with Mr. Palmer's last Masters, only on the 18th fairway. Augusta wouldn't allow me to go anywhere else. To walk up to 18 is mine. So in 2005 I was with Mr. Nicklaus, and I did his walk through his last majors. I was at St. Andrews. The US Open was at Pebble Beach. I was there. I did the Memorial. And at that time I was tired of shooting golf, tournament golf. My shoulder was killing me. I was married. I had 4 kids, and travel was pretty much. I had my full of travel shooting golf. So I approached the Nicklaus group and got interested in photographing their golf courses. I knew nothing about photographing a golf course. I walked many fairways. I knew the game, and it didn't take me very long at all to figure out. I fell in love with photographing golf courses. I had the opportunity to photograph just about every one of his properties, magnificent properties. And so that love continued from '99 all the way through pretty much all my career, and which brings me forward to the present. I lost my train of thought. Currently, my studio's in Atlanta. I'm a commercial photographer, probably 80% of the time now. I'm in the studio. I'm on location shooting manufacturing for manufacturing clients. Some of the clients include Glock, Hitachi, and Mizuno Golf, and lately a lot of pharmaceutical stuff. But my love for photographing golf courses is really deep. Something about being on the golf course, capturing the beauty of the golf course, it's just really special. So when Doug called me and mentioned this the project, I could tell he was really excited about it. And there's, if you know Doug, there's a couple things that gets him excited. One, it's barbecue, and 2, it's golf. So when he brought me up here and he started explaining to me this potential property, what it looked like, and we drove around, I immediately fell in love with it, and I could see the potential. So I'll show you this 3-minute little piece, and it'll give you an idea of what the drone can do, how my eyes see a golf course, and the great technology that is available. I hope.
Make sure that's the biggest thing we promote. And that was from a drone looking right back at us. That was really cool.
So this, so that was basically a day's worth of images. It'll give you, I think it gives you an idea of what the drone can do, what the images potentially can, how they can highlight and showcase your golf course. Unfortunately, of the day that we were here, they were aerating your greens, so it wasn't optimal time to be photographing the course. But I think it gives you a good idea and an understanding of the technology and how you can use magnificent images to promote this beautiful place. One thing I wanted to do is mention, Payne obviously was a very charismatic figure, and it was pretty an amazing opportunity to be able to travel with that guy. And it gave me so many so many opportunities, it's just more than I can envision. But if you follow golf and you know that back in those days, golf memorabilia was huge. And from the '99 Open, we produced a lithograph that is probably one of the most ionic pieces, I'd say, historically wise. It's up there with Mr. Hogan's one iron shot. I mean, it's, so to be able to capture that. So, I'll let you do these. I'll keep my assistant.
Yeah, assistant, whatever. And I'm hoping that everybody knows who Payne Stewart was, and the accident that Steve is, you know, his Learjet went down, and just, you know, many other people were lost in that as well. So, here we go, Ms. Karen.
What, I guess what people
Yeah,
don't really
done.
understand, you don't know, these players are put on such high pedestals, and to have the opportunity to follow somebody like this, it just opens so many other doors because of the trust factor. I would have never been able to get in with Mr. Nicholas and Mr. Palmer if it wasn't for having the opportunity.
So do you want to talk just briefly
Yeah.
about what your plan would be
Right.
coming back if they decide to hire you?
So I know you wanted me to leave a proposal, but I think before I can realistically and in good faith give a proposal, I felt like I needed to sit and chat with the members of the committee to get some input on how you feel you need, what you really are looking for. I have an idea, and I'm happy to tell you what my thoughts are. I think this golf course needs to be photographed in every spring, summer, fall, and winter. Obviously in the fall, I mean, this place is just, it's a whole different place. And every hole at this golf course, even within one day, I can tell the light changes drastically. And to photograph this golf course, or any golf course, you can't photograph it in one day. I mean, you can, but it's not the proper way of doing it. You need to figure out lighting, you need direction of lighting. I'm a big stickler on contrast light, and light affects the contour of your greens. And to go out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and photograph 18 holes of golf, a lot of people do it, but it's not the right way of
He
doing
was
it.
a stickler, and we took a little bit, and he's like, no, we're stopping until close to 5 o'clock. And we sat right out here, near the fire pit, and waited, like 3 hours before, because he knows what he expects, and the lighting, and it's something that, as all of us are not photographers, we don't see that. Oh, it's pretty if you take a thing at, 12 o'clock like she's talking about. But he spent the night here. He got up at, 6 o'clock and was sitting here and did a lot of the things, if you notice, were early morning. And so there's different ways that we want to promote, the community. And we want to get that wow factor, all right? So in this, just so you know, that these photos and these videos will be ours, or yours, forever. This is not where if you use this on a billboard, you gotta pay him, which a lot of these guys do. No, once they're done, and again, I agree, and we've talked about it, we need to do a year-long thing where it's different, summer, winter, fall, and if we see it's gonna snow, we need to figure out how we get up here, real quick, because we wanna take some pictures in the snow. So we'll make sure we have a plow available, okay, thank you.
She's got it on the front of her car.
I bet she does.
Also, I think you need to have this, you really need to include the social aspect. The day that we were out here, they were playing croquet. That night, we didn't go over, and I kicked myself for not going over there. There was a group, they must have had they were doing a picnic or fire pit kind of.
Tuesday night political group.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there, yeah.
So I think you need to show that aspect of the club.
Pickleball, you didn't get pickleball.
No, we didn't, yeah, there's certain things we just didn't have time to do. We did talk about, and I told her, I said, real estate's a big part of what we're gonna do. So, he would definitely, we would have to work on this, we would wanna go into a home. We would be here at nighttime, you know, however, so we wanted, where the lighting maybe out front of the house is a beautiful home at nighttime.
These two houses up here, I don't know if they're members or not, but I was up there, and I just didn't feel comfortable going on the deck and photographing, but up there at nighttime, the view of this clubhouse and this 18th fairway is spectacular, spectacular. So I think it would just take some coordination of the right homeowners, the properties. I think you could highlight interiors, maybe you would stage a family having cocktails on their balcony or kids playing. I mean, it's endless. It's just a question of coordination and which directions, and make sure every aspect of whatever committee members are here, that's covered. Your needs are specifically met.
This morning, I was out with one of the policemen as he was wrangling cows back into the pasture. Would you like that?
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, let's get some cows and policemen doing their work.
Because this is a village, right? I mean, this is his own intent.
It's the city.
It's the city,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
yeah.
that's important. I mean, I really do.
There's a lot of things that go into account, and I think Steve and I can make sure we're far enough ahead that we know these things. Now, these homes that we're talking about, they don't have to be the ones that are for sale. Probably not. We probably want to make sure that, you know, we just want to get a grasp so people, when we do things and put it on the website, we have a bigger real estate section where they can go through and see, oh, wow, we got these, or we got these condos, we got this, or whatever, so people can understand exactly what, you know, there is available here. And so, I mean, it's a big undertaking that Steve would do for a year, but I think at the end of the year, you would be very, very pleased with, and the drones are just, I'm sure you've all seen drones. If you watched any of the Masters last week, they had drones up over, which they would never do with spectators there. So that was really cool. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Steve, I mean, I'm asking him, you know, how much these drones cost, and thousands of dollars, you know, so he does it right, and he's got all kind of equipment.
Let me just, this is a funny story. I'm married to a corporate attorney for IHG, and her big client is in China. So I think it must have been 7-8 years ago, I accepted a freelance assignment, and I needed to photograph this golf course. A helicopter was not an option because the homeowners association didn't want to have the helicopter flying over their property, and drones back 6-7 years ago were just starting to come out. So my wife is in China, meeting with a client, and I had her bring back, I had the very first drone that was in the United States. She shipped this box, literally it was about this big, it was parts. It cost me $2,700 American. That cost me another $5,000 to have it built here. And within 2 years it was outdated. now, everybody's flying drones. I mean, it's just, the technology is just jumped leaps and bounds, and it really, really enhances the golf.
I don't remember if that, I'm not gonna take too much time, but we were over here on 17, and he took the drone right down the bridge, and just right over the top of it, you know, and it was just, man, it was so cool, just to watch. And then I went to his studio and picked out a lot of his footage. So it's really a remarkable thing, but then again, it will sit there and just take pictures. So it's not just video. So as you saw Steve and I in that picture, as I mentioned, that's, you know, a shot that he's sitting there flipping with his phone and he took a picture, you know, and it could be 3 miles high.
When you produce this video, is it just, you will wait till the end of the year, or will you produce it and add to it as the seasons go by, or how are you thinking?
Well, that's a question I think it needs to be determined. I don't know if I'm gonna, if you want one full video, if you just want footage and somebody will put it together.
Well, we probably just need a couple of those. We need photos,
like
you know, that we can use at any time for anything marketing wise. So we have a library of photos that we can put in a Dropbox or whatever, and somebody says, or a magazine says, hey, you need a couple of pictures. Boom, they're gone. We don't have to worry about it. I'm like, oh, these don't look very, are they high res? Well, we're not really sure they're high res. So, and then, you know, certainly a video thing that we certainly can put on the website, that we can market, you know, with links, and so there'd be different things, but I think having
You
both.
probably do short clips.
Yeah. So,
Maybe your, whatever signature hole is your signature hole, you would spend, a considerable amount of time, different times of the year, photographing that hole. Maybe you put, do a clip of just that signature hole and release that as a spot somewhere.
a lot of people, other golf courses, when they talk about each, go to the website and talk about each hole, and a lot of them are just pictures, but some now have, it's drones, and you fly down from the tee box, and and you see all these things. So that's something new that's been happening.
This 3-minute and 3.5-minute video is almost 4 gigs. So you could never release that on,
That'd be short.
it would have to be a short section of that.
And we would be able to use these on social media or wherever we wanted
Right.
to use it.
We have one that was done several years ago, and a couple of the points that you made were good ones, because they went right into people's homes and photographed, which I thought was very effective. It's outdated, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but,
It's good.
yeah.
And we do need to include all the different amenities in Sky Valley, as well as the people
Mm-hmm.
and the activities. Yeah, that would be great.
Activities, weddings.
Right.
Yeah, for example, if there's a wedding somebody plans a wedding, I mean, not that I'm a wedding photographer by any means. I don't even think I've shot one.
We just had, what, a 5K race
Oh, I
this
think
last weekend?
Yeah, see, that would
Yeah.
be huge.
Yeah. So your proposal would include you coming back multiple times and?
It would have to be multiple times. Off the top of my head, I think probably 2 weeks for every season. I mean, that's just a guess.
Yeah.
I could get up here and.
And you need a list of all upcoming events.
I think that would be
Yeah.
a definite.
Yeah, we can coordinate it, and so there's a lot of work. There's not just coming up and clicking a button. So, and it's the reason here. I'm not trying to waste people's time. Yeah, we could bring in 6 people and y'all say, and I'm not saying we got to go with Steve, and he knows this, and he knows up front that he did these 3 days for whatever, and he's like, this is.
No, I told you, I was excited when you, to listen to you on the phone not talk about something, a barbecue.
It's not
you know,
barbecue.
You know,
I was in Williamsburg last week, had some great barbecue up in Williamsburg.
really was.
By the way, next time we have an in-person meeting, we're expecting ribs. Okay, just,
Ribs.
He,
Y'all have to tell me where from, but,
he was really excited to have the opportunity to show me this place. I mean, I come to Highlands a lot, and I've never stopped at Sky Valley.
that's what we're trying to,
we don't say the H word here.
Well, the only reason I brought that up, my wife, her aunt has a place in Toxaway.
I'm just kidding.
So I drive that road, I don't know how many times I've been up here.
we
this
talked
summer.
about it, yeah, and I told him, I said, that's what we're
I
trying to do.
never knew that there was a golf course here. I always associated Sky Valley with,
Go ahead.
you want me to say this?
Yeah, because everybody else says it.
Cows crossing the street.
No.
Right, and so when I told my wife, I said, you know, gonna do this proposal for Sky Valley, she said, well, you hate skiing. And so, you know, she never knew that there was
We're skiing.
so.
Well, that's the thing that we've been trying to do and why we have a marketing committee. And as we met back in August or September, the club and the golf course is obviously the jewel that we have. It's the showpiece. But it's more than just that. We are a city,
Right.
you know, legally and in every other way. This committee is kind of a conglomeration of city, mayor and city council members, the club and their representatives, the POA, Property Owners Association, and we pooled our funds and we're marketing together, and we want to attract as many people as possible. Now also when we talked about, and that's beautiful, I'd like to can we just buy that thing? But you know, we've adopted a logo, and I love the way that you put the logo over the mountain scene, which is really the logo we've adopted. But we want to let everybody know, not just golfers, because not only are we the highest and coolest city, we have some of the most affordable homes in North Georgia right here.
And I think you have to highlight that.
And how do I know that? Because 3 years ago, I looked all over North Georgia and found my home here. And I'm not a golfer. So I didn't come here for the golf. Not that it is important, it is a jewel, and we want to attract people, and obviously people that can come move and join a country club have got the scratch to buy some of the pricier homes. But we have homes that are in around the $200,000 range, all the way up to $1 million+ range, and we want to attract them as well. So whatever we produce, pictures, photographs, or drones, as Holly said, we want to show a broad spectrum of who we really are. The roads, the chapel, even maybe a flyover of timeshare. I'm not sure if we want to do that yet or not.
City Park.
City Park, the Overlook,
Where's the city park?
that's down
Highway.
down by pickleball.
Yeah.
Keep up with things, will you?
What, am I missed something? I'm still thinking about the barbecues.
Yeah, all right.
Is it lunch done
Well,
yet?
we can take care of that in about 20 minutes. And I'm in agreement that we should have some of the homes, not so much you have to focus in on one, but the drone over a certain area, part of the valley, you know, some of the mountain roads. Now, you're the artist, so, and you've done this before, so you know what I'm talking about. But we want to be broader than just the golf course. And I'm not insulting anybody by saying this, because it's the jewel. But there's going to be people that are going to be moving here that we don't want them to think, oh, it's just a golf course and I'll buy a home there.
I never ventured off the beaten track, up in those roads
Yeah,
high up.
yeah, we
So,
want to get there
I
too,
mean,
You've got great hiking trails.
And I think, yeah, that's,
Just
I'm
the
glad you-
waterfall of Mud Creek Trail is a wonderful amenity. The ladies from the garden club have labored all the different, I was just amazed at how many different trees are in there.
Yeah.
I thought 2 or 3, but I was wrong about that. But that's all part of the beauty, I guess, of being in Sky Valley.
And
So-
we're right under Raven Ball.
Mhm.
which is great to hike. A lot of people come to hike Braden Dark.
You know, the
Right.
shopping opportunities around us and restaurants that are close by, we'd like to highlight all that there are things to do in this area. I know when Ed and I first bought property here, we're from Atlanta, several of our friends are going, oh my God, where will you go shopping? Do they have a grocery store? I mean, it was like we were going to the moon.
Right.
I
So-
mentioned that to Doug, and I said, I think you should, Highlands is closed, and I think, or
Clayton, yeah,
wherever,
wherever, yeah,
I think that's important.
I do too.
And
Or
with,
Franklin, wherever, yeah.
with this year of COVID, people are looking to get out of the urban areas and get away, and this is one of the places that they're coming, because houses have been selling at a greater rate than they have for several years. And I'd like to take credit for the marketing committee, which probably has some effect, but just people wanting to move, get out, low interest rates, we want to capitalize on that and do it now, because I think I mentioned to you that the average age of our residents is 71 years old. And we can all last a few more years and die, but we don't want Sky Valley to die. We want it to keep on going and bring younger people, not necessarily a whole lot of school-age kids, because I'm not sure that they would come here and be that far away from school, but, pre-retirement people, the ones that are in their late 40s, maybe 50s, that are looking for, like my wife and I did, I waited a little bit past my 50s, I was like, let's put our plan together, where do we want to go? And then we did it, and it took us, 2.5 years to move here. So the images are wonderful, and I know you just kind of put it together so we could see what you're capable of doing. We have a city website, and the club has a website, and the POA has a website. And we updated our city website, and it needs a lot more updating. But we want the videos with the drone footage and the picture to be available to everybody. And then we're going to try to update our city website as to be, and we've moved toward that some. It's not just the city government website.
True.
We want you, here's Sky Valley, come, look, here's what we have, here's things to do, here's visitor information, here's rental information, the POA connected a multiple listing service to a page on their website, which is accessible from the city website. So at any moment, you can see what's for sale here. So we want it to be a tool that people can use to get here. We want to have the things to do link, where, okay, you want to eat out, go here. You want to, go fly fishing, go on over here. And be something where people will, the big attraction to a website for an organization is, how long do people stick? Not click and gone. Click, a good website is one that they will stick. And then provides them with information, because the average person is not going to get on the City of Sky Valley website to see, well, how do I get my license renewed? And that we understand that we're an experiential location, meaning people come here for the experience. Even restaurants, you go to a restaurant not just to eat a hamburger. Some places you do that, that's why McDonald's is famous, but you want to go and have an experience. And we want to show them as much as possible. That's why we put on a webcam, and that's why we're really interested in updating photos and the drone video, that they can experience as much as they can even before they get here and say, let's go see that place. And when they come, it's going to go on their list. Whether they buy or not, I don't know. If it's my wife and I bought 3 houses since we've been married, and we bought the house on the first day we looked. So you can't take that. I'm not going house shopping with my wife anymore. This is where we're going to end up. But we want that to be something that attracts people, it gets them here, and we get on their list. So, do you have anything that you want to add based on what you thought or what you conceive or envision?
So, when I have a client that has a golf course that's like this, and I do a proposal that I'm gonna do for you, within that proposal, and Doug mentioned this, I don't have time to chase down clients. If I do a project, my contract, and those images are used for billboards or brochures, once I do the work, I release all the images.
Okay.
It's just, I don't have the time to chase down and say, oh, you're using that for a billboard, or you're using that for something
Well,
else.
that fits perfectly with the way we do.
And-
Because I even mentioned to you that we are a city, but we're a very small city. We don't have a downtown area. We don't have a huge tax base. And I mentioned to you, and a phrase that we use in our marketing community quite a lot, we want it to be impressive and inexpensive. Because we don't have this, box of coin that we can just open up and say, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we want, as they say in the business, the best bang for our buck.
So what you'll get is you'll get high-res images if they decide to use them for brochures. You'll get a low-res image for the web, or the web and social media. And depending on how I format the proposal, the video, I mean, it'll be high-res video. It's just a question of, somebody's gonna have to make a decision down the road. Well, do we want this video to be used for social media? Then it's gonna have to be res down.
How about a narration? Would you include a narration, and do you write the script that would go with something like
I'm
this?
not a writer, so, but I
Okay.
have access, and I'm sure Doug's got people that.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Was it music from a submarine movie?
You know, I don't really, I don't know, it was just in my library.
Because it sounds like either Crimson Tide or Hunt for Red October.
I
No.
don't know about Hunt for, I've seen both, I don't know about Hunt for October.
No.
No.
I just, when I'm looking for music, I just go through my library.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Just
It
curious.
was good.
thank
It
you.
was good.
Thank you.
It was good. All right, does anybody have other questions?
So you said you would do a narration or not?
No.
No.
He won't,
I won't.
I
he
mean,
can't,
Yeah.
okay.
he can't, so yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
just, it'll just have to be, somebody will have to write a script, somebody will have to do the voiceover, and that's just,
Do you have any connections with Morgan Freeman or Tom Selleck? We could get either one of them to do it.
Tom called last week, I could get him to.
I had to connect.
You know, we could just get Tom Selleck to do a personal appearance, and that's all the market we'd ever have to do.
We could do some, what am I trying to just say, verbs, words that go across the thing and
Sure,
disappear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could scroll across type,
yeah, and then just kind of float away and the next one come, and so,
yeah, yeah, it's just a question of somebody writing that and.
Well, that's
and,
easy,
you know,
that's easy enough to do.
and-
So I thought about that, listened to it, and also thought about the narration too. Might be kind of cool to have a narration, tell people what all is available. What am I looking at here? What's that
Right,
kind of
you
cool?
wanna know, for
This is-
example, maybe you wanna show that this particular hole is 18, or it's your signature hole, or,
Weddings are available, and here's our
yeah.
20,000 square foot clubhouse, whatever,
I had Sean Connery as a contact, but I don't know.
Wow.
if that's
Don't think
You
that's
waited
gonna
too
work.
long. You
I
needed to
tried
come
to
last
get-
You're
month.
gonna put Bond, James Bond across the top there,
But I will make sure that I have your email. I'll have something drafted.
Put something together that we can
Right,
see and
sure.
compare and see numbers
But
and
I just felt like
ideas.
it's uncomfortable not meeting and getting external input from the client. I mean, I know what I like, but I need to know what they want.
Anytime you want to know my opinion, just pick up the phone. I'm glad to share it.
I want to ask a quick question.
Sure.
You said that the video or the piece would be shorter than this. Am I correct? Is that what you said?
No.
Okay.
No,
I know it can't be too long, you lose
Yeah,
interest.
I don't foresee, in other words, the images that I would be shooting would be a stockpile of images, for starters.
Right.
Whether somebody's gonna have to have access to them, they can just constantly rotate their website or do whatever they wanna do with those images. If you decided that you wanted to do a video, then I would take a section of those images that I shot throughout the period of time that I've been here and put together, and then I would know ahead of time, okay, you need this for a 30-second spot for a YouTube commercial, or it would just be clips from.
Right, and that's what I was wondering, is
Right.
because there might be different needs
Yes,
for this footage, and could it be broken into a piece that would be an overview with just words,
sure,
you know, golf, you know, family parks, you know, just swimming,
absolutely.
you know, and all that. But then there would be a more in-depth one that would show maybe why this is a good place for a family, why this is good for those that are still in the workforce, why this is good for
Right.
retirees. And then to break it into 3 categories. I'm just throwing an idea out, because I don't know if you know, but 2 of the top prep schools are in this area. Within,
Actually, the day we were here, that one prep
Oh,
school
yeah.
was on the
I
golf.
don't know, we had the golf team, we talked to the golf
Yeah,
team.
That was
And we went
amazing.
around the
That was
girls-
absolutely
girls' golf
yeah, they're
team.
backed by Coca-Cola.
Oh, wow.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, so, and children from this area can easily get a scholarship to go to those prep schools. Where they get the money is from Coca-Cola and from out-of-state and out-of-country tuition. And so, for parents to be able to have a home here and to have their child go to school,
That's huge.
it's huge. And it may be worth pursuing and looking at.
Good point, good idea.
And for seniors that don't golf, there are so many different activities and things for us to do. We're wondering when we will ever retire, you know?
Yeah, I've been busy since I
Well,
retired.
So it's just, and the fact that there's water aerobics, that there's a clubhouse where you can go to or rent for family events, so you don't have to deal with it, you
Right.
know? Just so many different things that, and I think the golf is, like you said, the jewel, but there's so many other aspects, so if we could also pull in, you know, some of these other
So it would
aspects.
just take somebody from the committee and organize some kind of schedule and-
Right.
and notify whoever does this
Right,
that, okay, on this certain day, there's gonna be an activity, a family outing, or water aerobics, or whatever the activity is, it has to be documented.
mhm,
The other thing, touching on schools, the local public high school by Raven County has an extremely good football team for, it's not 5A or 6A, I think it's 2 or 3A, but they are traditionally in the hunt for the state championship of that level.
ESPN,
So,
oh, they're
If,
on TV.
you know,
They
people
played
are
on
concerned about their
ESPN.
kids having sports
Holy cow.
available,
Yeah, sure did.
that is too.
Wow.
So,
This is probably as far as the public school system goes here, this is probably the wealthiest school system I have ever in my life seen. And I taught for 40 years from Europe through US, and this is the wealthiest system I've ever seen. I've never seen it broken down like this and so elaborate. And they give them the option of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Jeez.
And they have phenomenal,
Their campus is nice.
their campus is,
Yeah, a little bit.
it's mind-boggling.
It is.
And what they offer these kids is just, I mean, they have tutoring, and they will bring them home after tutoring. I mean, we're talking an amazing amount.
Well, that day we were here, walking the course or driving the course, and we ran into that school, that girl was clearly not an American girl. She was Asian,
I think so,
and
That's the Reagan Kikuchi School up
she
here.
had an
Yeah.
amazing
yeah. I
golf
heard
swing.
if she was walking
I
with
mean,
the golf
amazing
coach.
golf swing.
So we talked to the golf
Yeah.
coach for a little while.
It was-
And they bring them here to golf.
Right, yeah, that's what she said. She said she was, they have the
Very good,
opportunity to practice at this facility, which a lot of high schools in Atlanta don't have a facility like this.
So it's just, I think there's some aspects that might be, so in other words, you could go to the city website, click on an overview, then you could click on family activities
Right.
and schools, and then you could click on one for
Have you been
seniors.
to our website?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I personally, I think it'd be, I mean, to be able to photograph this golf course, the way it should be photographed would be, it'd be magnificent. It'd be an opportunity.
I do recommend you buy a house in this area so that you don't have to,
Yes, you don't have to travel back,
Right,
rich guy.
I have to talk to my wife. I'm at a stage, I'm 60-something, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to pick and choose my projects. I'm in Florida a lot, only because it's close by and there's magnificent golf courses down there that I photograph. But I'm just saying, it's great to have an opportunity to be able to pick and choose. And this would be one that would be something to be able to showcase.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Just, I'm gonna throw in, this isn't really for Steve, but Karen has worked with our website, and we are getting the weather cam, a link to the weather cam put on the website.
Okay,
We
good.
have a whole lot more to do to the website.
We have
We've
a lot
also-
to do.
We've got a lot to do.
Okay. Anything else on your part, Steve?
I'm good.
I don't wanna
I'll make sure by the end of the week you'll have something.
Great. I don't want to bore you with the other little things we need to cover, so feel free to sit, stay, go, or run down the road to get ribs, whatever you want.
It's up to you, big guy.
Well, I know they're just gonna talk about the webcam and whatever else. you have.
Yeah, this is more of an update. We're not going to be a whole lot
Yeah,
longer.
that's fine.
Thank you for these prints, though.
Oh, my pleasure.
Very nice.
A lot of people, if they're golf, and one thing I will tell you, that the signature on that is not real, it's a facsimile. There's only four prints that have the real signature. I have two, Mrs. Stewart has one, the other one is with DJ Snow, who's with Leader, and 4.5 months ago, Christie's offered me $187,000.
Wow.
So
How much
somebody,
of the facsimile is worth?
yeah, so you're welcome to try to
Little
sell
less,
that.
but
$20?
maybe if you signed it, it would go back up a
I
little
don't know about that. But these are knocked off all the time. I mean, being married to an attorney, I'm her worst client because I'll see these on the web and I'll call her and I'll say, honey, somebody's ripping this off again, and she'll say, just forget it, you know?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Thank you
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
work. Thank you for coming.
It was
The
a lot of
video
fun.
was great.
Oh, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
I look forward to getting your correspondence.
I will, for sure.
Okay, real quickly for the rest of us, because you know we like to stick close to an hour. Karen was good enough to get us the most recent account reports. I have them in my email, and I can just send them to you, or you can take a hard copy. Anybody want a hard copy? Nobody, okay, I'll send them to you. Next. Okay, I want to thank out loud and publicly, because this is our last meeting for 2020. We decided that we would take the holidays off for traveling and family and all that. We'll have to set a date for the next one. We'll do that before we go. I want to thank Gordon for all of his work in persistence and putting up the funds to start with, to get the webcam up and running and working. He was just persistent and diligent, and I can't really thank him enough. I want to thank Jamie for organizing and orchestrating and being the grand hostess at our, what do we call it, Business After Hours event. It went extremely well. Juanita at the Chamber would love to have us do it again, so you're going to be up again.
Well, I called Juanita the first of the following week, and she was so pleased. She said it was just one of the best business after hours that they had had.
Great.
Well attended and loved the venue.
And I'm sure when the word spreads, even the attendance will be even more than what we had. You know, because some people may say, I don't want to go up the hill. Well, guess what? You probably want to.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think the club did a wonderful job.
They did.
they did.
They did.
She did.
And I want to thank Jim in his absence, because when the Drake Realty people came up, he, and I think Debbie did too, they kind of orchestrated a little tour of Sky Valley for those agents that showed up. Drake was impressed with it, and he wants to do another one. And I heard the word mandatory. I heard he was going to make it mandatory for his North Georgia real estate agents. You know, you can't get everyone because there's hundreds of them, but that one. I also want to, as I usually do, want to thank the club for their financial support of the marketing committee. Harry and Gordon are the representatives on the committee. And the club has just been going great in addition to monetarily supporting. They provided the golf, they provided meals. In some cases, they provided an overnight accommodation. So aside from the actual real hard dollars, they have given donations in kind. So we're very appreciative of that. I think we've got a good partnership altogether. And want to thank the POA, Ed. The POA is the biggest financial contributor to our committee and has already committed to funds for next year. And they put together the welcome packages where we've had dignitaries and so on and so forth. And of course, the city for all the support we get from you. I think that the committee's come a long way, because if I look back, we had like our first meeting in May. And so in a very short period of time, I think we've made some great inroads, and we've gotten some pretty good comments from people. I did just recently meaning yesterday, I put together a brief summary report. When I say brief, it's not really brief, but it's a whole lot briefer than it could have been.
Several pages.
And Roy Aiken had asked for some documentation because, you know, he's the new president of a few months ago, and they're going to contribute a certain amount, and he wanted to have justification. I said, I got some justification for you. But I also said to him, and I copied you on the letter as well, we have so much more. Minutes and Doug's monthly reports and all kinds of emails back and forth. So I gave him what I thought he had asked for, thought you should all have it. Want to quickly, being we have a forum here where people might be listening to, go through some of the things that we're proud of. And then the last thing we'll talk about is some more ideas for 2021, because that was one of the things that he asked for, and I gave him what we had, but we could discuss a few more. Okay, hang on to your seats, buckle up, put your seatbelts on. Okay, as I said, our first meeting was in May. The accomplishments that we feel that we've had, we established updated branding for Sky Valley. We adopted the Mountain View logo and slogan of Georgia's highest and coolest city. We utilized the logo and slogan on all Sky Valley advertising and communication. And I know the POA has adopted it, and I know the city has, but I know the club has as their own. We decided we would create stickers, both oval destination stickers and bumper stickers, to distribute to property owners, and as specialty media at sponsored and hosted events. So we usually put that in welcome packages. We did it for the race. We did it for the real estate agent, we did it for the Mid-South Seniors Group, and a few others. We conducted a survey of residents in conjunction with the City Council to determine how they became aware of Sky Valley and elicit suggestions. I also did copy that in the report. We have a contract with Doug Hollinsworth of Golf Life Marketing for a period of 1 year. We recently voted that we would continue that for 2021 because we feel we're getting a lot of activity for our dollars, particularly in the social media area. We joined the Raven County Chamber of Commerce, and our mayor now has a seat on the board. She has one more meeting to go to at least every month.
True.
The mayor, the POA president, and myself met with the Raven and the Raven Chamber of Commerce officials to join and to discuss areas of mutual benefit. The club donated a Sky Valley golf bag for display at the Raven County Welcome Center, and it draws attention to the fact that we're here at Sky Valley, the club, and the golf course. It actually gives us a leg up when people come in there and say, where should we play golf? It was determined that the monies from the Sky Valley Hotel and Motel tax monies may be spent on direct marketing efforts out of those funds that we give to Forward Raven. We pay Raven County the full portion of 40% of the money we collect, which was over $7,700 for the 2019 year. Obviously, we don't have 2020 numbers yet. And some of those monies, we actually got them to spend. $750 of those funds were spent on the first mass printing of the Sky Valley stickers. They were printed, they're available to residents at no charge at City Hall and the Pro Shop. I recently resupplied because they've been going pretty good and we ran out of some of them, so we restocked just about a week or so ago. And they were also distributed at the Mid-South Senior Golf event, and the welcome packages, which included the Northeast Georgia maps, which had golf balls and tees, and also at the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours event, the Sky to Summit meeting, and to the Drake Realty events, 2 of them in September and October. The Sky Valley POA website has been updated to include real estate pages that show all MLS listings that are available for sale. At the time I wrote this part, I could check it again, but you can check it minute to minute in real time. Only 10 homes were currently available for sale, no condominiums, and 11 vacant lots. These are the lowest numbers in recent memory, so we're moving the properties. I personally visited the Franklin Welcome Center, the Geico Rest Stop area, the Raven County Welcome Center, and the Forestry Welcome Center down by Tallulah Gorge to get marketing ideas and ideas for potential Sky Valley Welcome Center. I also joined the mayoral committee when we toured the former Visitor Center on 146, and the disposition of that building is still in abeyance, so if it does become a visitor center, we kind of have some general ideas. As most of you heard today, Steve Dinberg came and showed his drone footage, and we will receive a proposal in the next week or so, and we'll make a decision soon whether to purchase and use his images. The purchase and use of the webcam and hosting services was researched. After several months of deliberation, the webcam was installed on the roof of the club, and thank you to the club for allowing that to happen and providing the electricity and the internet access. It was activated in late October. The image spans, zooms, and provides real-time current temperature and weather as it happens here in Sky Valley. The image can be seen on resortscam.com, the club website, the POA website, and will soon be available on our city website. And this is going to be a great tool to draw people to Sky Valley and obviously support Georgia's highest and coolest city claim. The camera's expected life is 10 to 12 years, and the resort cam will host it for the life of the camera. The camera itself was $6,000 with about approximately $400 of parts and et cetera to attach it. Okay, the marketing committee provided appetizers and a drink to the participants of the Mid-South Senior Golf event in August. Approximately 85 people participated. We also sponsored the Raven County Business After Hours event. Again, everything we do is a combined event of the city and the POA and the country club, and was hosted at the country club. Approximately 40 people attended and were provided with an hors d'oeuvre buffet. It was very, very well received. We installed a new image on the billboard on 441 using our new logo and slogan as the basis, and also had the trees cut back from obstructing the view. So if you've been in the habit for the last 20 years of just driving past the billboard, look up to the left when you come down to the traffic light. I think you'll be impressed. We split the cost of the welcome package plastic bags with the POA. We printed a welcome banner for the Run Bums Sky to Summit race, which just happened this past weekend, and provided 200 Sky Valley bumper stickers for the runners. We agreed to run a full-page ad in the POS Realty Winter Magazine, which will be coming, hopefully, by December. We ran half-page ads in the summer and fall editions of the Mountain Traveler magazines, and an article for Sky Valley also appeared in the earlier summer edition. It came out online and in print with 30,000 copies, 200 locations, 10 counties, and 8 newspapers online. There was also an article that was written in the summer edition. I think I said that. We ran full-page ads in the summer and fall editions of Mountain Lakes Publishing Vacation Guide, again online and print, and distributed in 700 locations, mostly in North Georgia. We ran an ad in the TravelCom Northeast Georgia's Visitors Map. We researched the Sky Valley promotional video and had quotes, and the quotes ranged from $11,000 to almost $19,000. Decision was tabled for possible future use. We do not have the funds to participate in that now. I contacted a local Sky Valley property owner, Bill Thies, who has been attending our meetings and has given us some good input. And we've arranged a low-cost nightly rental of his condo to use when needed for marketing committee needs, and that's what we did when we had Steve come. We hosted 2 visits by Drake Realty Associates. Mr. Drake, the owner, was impressed, set a date for his real estate owners to visit, have a tour and a luncheon. They are a major real estate agent firm in Atlanta. He's fully impressed with Sky Valley and plans to promote Sky Valley and schedule another day for his agents to visit in the spring. We hosted several golf riders to visit, play golf, and stay. They were very impressed. We've already seen results of the publicity with overnight golf trips to Sky Valley. And we've agreed to place an ad in the other Northeast Georgia regional map for 2021. It has not yet been produced. And I believe that is a fairly complete list of our accomplishments, and I think we've accomplished a great deal in about 6 months. Now, last thing for the agenda today, and these are some items that we talked about, and we can add to them, or you can, as said, always email me with new ideas. Tentative ideas, possible goals for 2021. To contact the Georgia Department of Industry and Travel and Tourism to see if there's any benefits of any kind of partnership with them. Contact TV stations, which the webcam people are going to actually try to do, but to contact TV stations to promote Georgia's highest and coolest city, particularly during the summer months, and maybe announce them on the weather map reports, like, hey, look up in our highest, coolest city, it's 70 instead of 99. Want to continue to run ads in the Mountain Traveler magazines and the vacation guides, to continue the ads in the regional visitor maps, to update the city website and add better visitor information, and to add a things to do and places to visit tab, which actually connect to those businesses. Because from an experience standpoint, whenever we went someplace, we always want to do, okay, what can we do when we're up here? And it'd be kind of nice to provide that to them before they come if they're visiting. Possibly sell ads on the website to local businesses. Would like to investigate and post city-owned lots that could be made available for sale, and possibly have some additional revenue or taxes or homes built. To possibly produce a promotional video for Sky Valley for other broadcasts. Host some events, and some of the recommendations have been classic car shows, food truck events, beer fest, hiking groups, golf outings, 4th of July events, movie under the stars, and possibly a splash pad for kids down in the city park area. Now, that would probably be a major expenditure, but it's something that is probably worth looking into. And to possibly put VROB and Airbnb on our website, because one of the challenges we have is places for people to stay. And of course, there are people like Bill Thies who own homes and is very big at promoting them. But if you just want a hotel room for the night or something, we probably want to make that available. If we make it easy for people to come, they actually might come. And that is the short version of what we've done and what we would like to do. In the report that I sent, I tried to include the images that we've produced. I couldn't actually cut and paste the ads, but I did put a link to the Mountain Travel magazine online that it could be looked up. And the article could be read, which I think is good publicity. That's my short version. Phil?
That's great, thanks for that, and I'm glad we'll have a roadmap.
Right.
And a calendar,
Yep.
and be able to assign costs to it and
Yep.
see where we are and make good decisions.
Yep.
I heard a great suggestion over there, so many things going on in the general area that would affect a different social economic targeted audience, if you would. So, great comments. Thank you very much. That's important. And I think as we develop all these promotional materials, whether they be ads, photography, etc., we need that library to be a bit comprehensive, to her point, and so they can be used, modified, or combined, to market the appropriate message to the appropriate target audience.
Exactly.
And that gives you a lot of shelf life and a lot of return on that initial investment, if you will. And along with that, we need to be real clear about defining the target social and economic segments that we're trying to message to, and the geography of where they're located, so that as we evolve this stuff, we get more and more highly targeted
Right.
at what we're trying to do, what we're trying to be, and communicating that appropriate message through the appropriate channel, depending on how those different potential visitors get and absorb that information.
Exactly. And I love the idea of having updated visuals of any kind, because up to this point, the ads that we ran and the stuff I provided to Doug, I went online and found them, saved them, and fortunately the ones we used were JPEGs. But aside from that, I know that most of them are pretty old. When the bushes at the pool are this big, it's old.
Well, and that brings up another fundamental when you're doing, marketing materials. You want to be careful about putting people in those,
Yeah.
because the hairstyles will and the fashion date the photography.
That's right.
And you want a long shelf life, and you don't want the focus to be on the people.
On the people, right.
You want it to be
And
on
cars.
the,
And cars, right.
Keep the cars out of it.
same thing,
Yeah.
yeah, right? You want it to be on what you're trying to promote.
No people, more cars. Yeah, my wife and I were watching a show the other night, and we had been to Orlando at a resort at Universal Studios, and it's a 1960s themed beach type of resort, and they had all 1950s and 60s cars parked like outside the restaurant. So when we were watching this show that was the 1950s, she goes, "That reminds me of when we went to so-and-so in Florida with all those cars."
Yeah.
Now, for me, it's a throwback, but, you're right, we don't want to date ourselves.
Yeah, you don't want to have to redo all this in 5
No,
years.
that's true.
And
Right.
Bob, I hope we're going to try to involve timeshares in becoming part of this committee once again
Again.
for next year.
Yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause
love to have them, as a
Think
matter
they're
of fact.
ready?
I hope, yeah.
As a matter of fact, if they show up and want to join, I'll only smack them once. I apologize for that. Dear Lord, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No, we want a party.
Of course we do. I'm
We
just
want
saying
part of
we
it.
need to make an effort
And
to
they,
re-invite them.
and they need the generation of new
Yeah.
customers as well.
Yes,
Yeah, they don't realize that they need us too,
yeah,
so hopefully that'll work out for the positive.
I hope so too, yeah.
Anybody else, new ideas, comments?
Well, I did look into Southern Living and Garden and Go.
Oh, good, yeah, that was
advertising.
something I did forget, yes, okay,
Yeah.
Southern Living,
The advertising is out of the question.
okay?
Garden and Gun for a third of the page, one-time run is $20,836.
Oh,
And it goes up.
well,
from
thank
there.
you for doing the work.
And wait a minute, and do have a newsletter that comes out once a month, though in a run of a newsletter is from 7,500 to 12,000 that month. That's Garden and Gun. Southern Living starts at about 18,000 to 30,000 depending. But the one thing I did learn is Garden and Gun has frequently asked questions, and one of the questions was here's where you go to send a story idea.
Okay,
So I'm going to put together some of this, and if I had, some of these links I can do, and just send in a story idea that would be, about this city, the whole
okay.
That's great.
little
I think
Try to
thing.
get some
nestled
Try to
in
get
free
it.
editorial
wedged in there.
play.
Little sort of thing.
Also, Lauren Weavers, who owns Julep Farms, just told me the last time I saw her that Southern Living is coming to Julep Farms to do a whole article on them. So maybe we can get her to mention us too.
They would be
Yeah,
a good, I think, person to partner with.
yes, I do too.
Share our
That's
site,
what we
her
were talking,
site.
that's what Lauren and I were talking about.
Yeah.
How we could maybe work out some packages,
Mhm.
plans or so forth.
Yeah,
Sure.
they're so
Also
close
with
to-
the, what's the wire thing? Where you
Zip
zip
lines.
lines,
Zip
zip
lines,
lines, and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Scaly Mountain is installing a ski slope with man-made
Ooh.
snow that will, is good up to 50 or 60 degrees.
Good.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
So,
Good, good.
They had started last weekend making snow.
And
If
they've redone their
anybody needs-
restaurant totally. It looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks nice.
it was good. All right, I have one other thing.
Sure.
And I'm just gonna read this. This is about the brochure. I called Scott yesterday and it's due, should be on the street by December 1st.
Awesome.
And then he sent me this morning. Our brochure will be a holiday issue since it's going to be completed and hit the streets much later than normal. The delay is due to the fast pace of home sales. It's likely that many of the listings in the book will have already gone under contract between the time the book is proofed and the time it's printed and delivered. So other useful information has been included. We hope it will be on the streets the first week of December, and it will be mailed out to the owners at Burton, Raven Seed, and Sky Valley at the same time. Between June and September of 2019, there were 299 property sales of $5,000 and over, which would include land sales, in Rabun County Public Records. For the same time period for 2020, which is June to September, there were 412, which is a 37.7% increase. I don't have October totals yet, but this will be quite impressive. The Georgia MLS shows 232 homes and condo sales between June of 2019 and November 16 of 2019. In the same period this year, 2020, 356, which is a 53% increase over. He said,
Now,
"I'm
is that Raven
confident-"
County?
This is just Raven County.
Just Raven County.
I am confident the increase would be even greater if we had more inventory.
Yeah.
So he said this morning, he said, I'm a little worried. He said the brochure will cause people to call,
Mm-hmm.
but
And the
they're-
inventory.
they had 35 sales under contract just so far
Goodness.
this month.
I talked to one of
November.
the real estate agents here in Sky Valley a couple of days ago, and she said that there are only 8 houses on the market inventory, and one of them has a contract on it. So you're right, it's inventory,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that for sure.
That's good and
is
it's bad.
That for sure is a good thing, and we need that, and we probably should look at the building codes too, to
Yeah,
see if any modification needs to be done there to incent
right,
people to develop their lots or to sell lots.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
The other, on the other side, that little bit of lack of inventory, you look on the good side of that, when you have demand generated, which is what's happening now, plus the demand generated hopefully from the marketing, that will drive the property values through the roof.
Yep.
We've seen that, in some of the northern suburbs of Atlanta, like Cumming,
Yes,
et cetera, where, I had my brother-in-law just moved up here, bought a home, and he put his on the market, and it was about a 2,800 square foot ranch in a neighborhood that very few ranches ever come on the market, and very convenient and a great school system. They put that on the market and did an open house. They didn't allow anybody to see it until they did an open house on Saturday and Sunday. They got 36 offers. 4 of them were 20,000 over asking price.
Wow.
wow.
that was something else, right, the real estate agent told me that we are now selling houses for the asking price or above.
That's correct.
So they're not having to decrease the
That's
price,
correct.
which is good.
Well, yeah, which is my point,
Yeah.
when we create that demand
Right.
and a house comes on the market, it'll go fairly quickly and it'll go at a better price than it has prior.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's great. And like we talked about earlier in our committee, Sky Valley is really primed
Yes,
for
it
this
is.
next resurgence and becoming a step above what it is right now.
Yes,
Yep.
agreed. Thank you for all that information.
Yeah, that's great.
And thank you, Bob, for everything that you've done to get this committee going as quickly and hitting the ground as quickly as you
We
did.
have a great committee,
We
we've
do.
got great involved members, and that makes getting things done a
Yeah,
lot easier.
yeah.
It's good.
Well, I'm
All right.
anxious to see the
Me
proposal.
too. All right, should we plan a next meeting date?
Okay.
I'm thinking, just because of holidays, New Year's, football games, that maybe we do the second full week in January. The 14th is a Thursday. We normally meet Thursday, if that still works,
That works for
Looks
me.
great.
at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock? And
Okay.
Got it.
What's the date? Oh, there's.
January 14th.
January 14th,
Okay.
on a Thursday.
Thursday. And let's keep Zooming.
We are.
I've got it spoiled.
And you said 10 o'clock?
Yes.
I've also coasted with the idea, I don't know if coasting with an idea is a proper term, but anyway, when we don't have to do Zoom, maybe to continue doing Zoom and having face-to-face and Zoom at the same time, so everybody can have the option of, if they want to stay home
Right.
in their jammies and drink coffee and participate, or they can come in person. So that's,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Well,
about
like
that.
Harry's case, he's still in the workaday world, so
Yeah.
he comes when he can and
Right,
can't when he can.
right.
Well, all right, and,
Wouldn't it be interesting, to address Bill's point, to increase the design and the desire for more properties, if we could get some condos built and developed? Because there are many people in Sky Valley looking to move out of their homes,
right.
but they'd love to stay in the community in a condo situation.
Oh, I see, here.
And then that
Okay.
increases the viability for the
Right.
homes to be sold as well. So there's all kinds of opportunities if we can do some development that's controlled.
That could be a good idea too, because a lot of people, when they get to the age of retirement, want to start downsizing. That's what we did. We
Exactly.
started downsizing about
Well-
3 years before we moved here, went from a big house and got rid of all of our stuff, and the day we moved here was like, get in the truck, we're going.
Yeah. Well, we thought we were downsizing, but we seemed to upsize.
Well, that just is to Bill's point, what's the target market? It varies.
Yeah.
There's some people want the big, 5,000 square foot house. Some people want to get out of the big house. Some people want a house where none of their kids can come and visit and stay overnight, you know, so they go smaller.
Right, yeah, and pre-retirement,
Pre-retirement,
Yeah.
or,
Or
like in
retire.
our case, it was pre-retirement.
Yeah,
but I was still working from
right,
home,
yeah,
you
Yeah.
know, driving to the airport in Atlanta, that was a small trade-off to be able to be here.
I've had many citizens come to me and say they want upscale, and you can define that any way you want, condos with garages, and that if we had that here, they would sell like hotcakes. Is pretty much, they were ready to write a check, and I said, well, we haven't quite gotten there yet.
yeah.
But,
Well,
Yes,
the
sewer
ideas are
is
good.
The slowdown on the development issue, if we could just get the sewer
yeah,
Yeah, it really
down
comes,
the road.
that's right, it really, and that's the discussions we had in the mayoral committee. You know, what are our options there? There was one option presented, we're looking, you know, to others. And what kind of density would be appropriate.
Right.
And then we get all of that, and then we have to figure out, well, how do we incent somebody to do that?
Right.
And/or get some sort of control on some of that some of that buildable land.
yeah.
Well, the ideas we've gotten in your committees and surveys and marketing questions, they're all great ideas. It's brainstorming. And I say there's never a dumb idea in brainstorming. Because you never know what's gonna work, you never know what can hook later, or hey, let's go back and maybe we can modify that one.
Yeah.
So we want the ideas to continue to flow. But with that being said, there are some people that you don't realize that what this thing would cost. And yes, we're a city of Sky Valley, but we're not the city of Atlanta. We don't have funds like other places do. So, love the ideas, want to keep them going. We're even resurrecting a few other ones. So folks, keep the ideas coming. If we can't get to it, it's not because we don't like them or don't want them. There's just sometimes feasibility and logistics that prevent it from happening. So,
Thank you, Barbara, for
Thanks.
attending and your ideas.
yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
ideas and for coming. That's perfect.
All right.
Okay, anybody want to move to adjourn?
Uh-huh.
So moved. Second, third.
Everybody seconded. And I also want to thank Karen, because
Yes.
she's done a great job through the year taking notes.
Yeah, it's her favorite thing to do.
It's her favorite thing to do. If only because she gets out of the office for an hour. Well, at least today you do, anyway.
Today.
So, okay, meeting adjourned, see you in January.
See you.
All right.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and
happy
holidays.
Thanksgiving,
Christmas, and New Year's.
Merry Christmas.